In this lesson, we're going to start to discuss long document features. If you'd like to follow along, go under the File menu to Open, and in the Sample Files folder, scroll down to 1001, the ins and outs of linking text frames, and just click Open. You can see in this file I have several text frames set up in columns. And the first text frame actually has a plus mark in the output of the frame. All text frames have an output to the lower right and an import to the upper left. These are what makes linking text frames together in InDesign so much easier than any other layout application. All you have to do to link this frame, the first frame, to the second frame is to click on the plus mark in the output. And you can see as soon as I go over the second frame, I have a little link. And if I click, the text is actually flowing from one of these frames to the next. Just so I can see what it's actually doing, why don't I go under the View menu to Extras, Show Text Threads. And now I can see exactly how they're linked together from the output of my first frame to the import of my second frame. But I still have overset text. I have that little plus mark in the output of the second frame. Let me click on that to pick up my text again and load it into a loaded brush and just click on my third frame. And to show you that they really are linked together, it is actually freely moving the text, flowing it between the three frames. But it looks like I still have a plus mark in my output of my third frame. But I don't have another frame. What can I do? I'm going to click on the plus mark of that output, and now just go to the margins to the right of my selected text frame and just click. And it's making a frame that is the width of my column. If I didn't have columns, it would have made that frame the width of my margins. But I still am missing another frame here. Let me click on my output again, and this time, instead of just clicking, I'm going to go to the top of that next column lining up with the gutter and just click and drag. So you can click and drag as well. And like I said earlier, these frames are allowing the text to flow freely from one frame to the next. Watch what happens when I make this frame shorter. All of the text flows forward into the next frame. If I make this frame longer, the text will flow back up into the previous frames. I wonder what would happen if I click on, let's say, my middle column, and I just delete it. And the answer is, let me click on this frame, you can see that now the text thread is going from the bottom of my second column to the top of what used to be the frame that was my fourth column. So it's as if that frame in between never existed, and it didn't lose track of where it was supposed to go when I deleted what was the third frame. But what if I wanted to add back in that additional frame? All I have to do is either click on the output of the second frame or the import of the third frame. And now go to the upper left-hand corner of my margins on that page and just click and drag to the width of that column. And you can see it did flow back into that new frame. So linking frames together in InDesign is really easy and very intuitive. Let me show you another example. What if I wanted to add a frame before what is currently my first frame? I'm going to click on the import of that frame, and now click and drag, matching the width of my column guides. And you can see, very intuitive, very easy to do. We're going to continue to discuss long document features in the next lesson.